let's get started. Hi, I'm Harsh, a senior machine learning engineer here at Anthropic. I'm excited to chat with you today about our machine learning engineer position. To kick things off, could you briefly walk me through your professional journey and background?
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity. Uh, I am a third year student at BIT Mishraf, currently pursuing my BTech in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning from the Computer Science Department of Building Institute of Technology, Mishra. Till now, I have worked on real life solutions, mainly through Python. And since I'm a student of AIML, I have always tried to work on data driven systems. Like one of my projects was a VS Code extension, which was backed by a rack system, and it was developed in a hackathon and was specific to developers of a certain organization. It was connected to their GitHub community, the community GitHub, and like whenever there's a user asked for a code sample, so it generates the code as well as give a context from the GitHub source. Similarly, it developed AI marketplace where I essentially use LangGraph, um, and I would love to work as a data scientist and continue my journey in machine learning.
That's great to hear. What specifically attracts you to this opportunity at Anthropic?
From what I have heard from my seniors, that the culture is really diverse and like full of enthusiasm, and machine learning is something that really excites me, and I feel it would be a great place for me to grow and learn from the already machine learning experts in the industry.
Okay, thanks. Let's dive into some technical questions. Scenario 1. Which of the following techniques is most effective at preventing overfitting in a deep learning model? A. Increasing the number of layers. B. Using a larger dataset. C. Reducing the learning rate. D. Adding dropout layers. Please choose one option and explain your reasoning.
The most ideal choice here would be the fourth option, that is using a dropout layer. Now, see, like for example, whatever dropout we're using, for example, we are setting it to zero point 0.2 maybe. So it like each layer, it randomly drops 20%. Whatever x we have set, it drops x that percent of neurons randomly. Now, this won't allow for overfitting because there's a randomness introduced in the layers. Now, this would be enable the model to prevent overfitting.
That's a good explanation. Now, let's move on to another scenario. You're working with a large dataset and need to perform several complex data manipulations. Which Python library would be the most efficient and appropriate for this task? A. Math. B. Pandas. C. Statistics. D. Random. Choose one and explain why.
I guess all four would be having some use in this question, but the most ideal would be the pandas, since it already comes up with great function, great libraries, and it's the best way to handle data in Python.
Okay, and why would you choose pandas over, say, using just Python's built-in data structures and list comprehensions?
Pandas have whenever we convert any normal data structure to a pandas object, it enables certain operations which is very tedious in normal Python. Say for example, I want a normal array to each element of an array to be divided by 2. In Python, doing it through list would be like iterating all elements and divide by 2. This is just an example, but in pandas, I can simply just write the list name divided by 2, and there are several other features that gets added whenever a normal data structure is converted to a pandas object or pandas data frame.
That makes sense. Let's try one more multiple choice question. You've trained a machine learning model and want to evaluate its performance. Which metric is most appropriate for evaluating a binary classification model when the classes are imbalanced? Accuracy B, precision C, recall D, F1 score. Choose one and explain your reasoning.
Given that the data set classes labels are not balanced, like one class is more, it's very large than the second class. Using the F1 score would be the best, since it's a harmonic mean of both recall as well as accuracy. So I would go with F1 score.
Okay, can you elaborate on why accuracy might be misleading in the case of imbalanced classes?
Now see, one class can be very small in number as compared to the other class, and when we are speaking of accuracy, it is mainly whatever predictions it has made, how many of them were true for a given class. Now it might be that the given one class 1 is very small and class 2 is very large, so like even a small mistake in like class 1 can bring down the accuracy to a like quite low, whereas the same for class 2, small even a like a drastic change would be equal to a small change in class 1. So the accuracy might not be doing justice for both the classes.
Thanks, that's a clear explanation. Let's switch gears to a more open-ended question. Imagine you are building a machine learning model to detect fraudulent transactions for a bank. Describe your approach to this problem, including data collection, feature engineering, model selection, and evaluation.
Okay, so the first step would be data collection for sure. Now we need to think what data do we require for this. Now one can be the duration the system has been logged in, or the first time it was logged in. Like if the customer is for a very long time, it is expected that they won't be doing, it is at least expected they won't be doing fraud, so that can be a factor. Then second can be the amount, the place, if it's a first time logging into another place, that can be one thing. And I guess these 3-4 factors would be there. I would be collecting data. Now of course performing data cleaning, maybe or not all data is available, though it's expected that all data would be present if it's a bank system. Then I can also take I first of all I would need to train the model, so I would be taking the past history, maybe from the like all the banks handling these cyber transactions. I was taking all the data from there, and I was training the model on these 4 5 parameters. And yeah, and then I will be using a supervised model for this. And of course it needs to be a binary classification, and since it's 4 5 factors, I guess logistic regression can be a good choice over here, or maybe for random forest can also help. I'm a little unsure for this one.
That's a good start. Can you elaborate on the feature engineering aspect? What specific features would you create from the raw data to improve the model's performance?
I'm not able to think of this.
No problem. Let's move on to another problem-solving scenario. Let's say you've built a model to predict customer churn for a subscription-based service. The model has good overall accuracy, but it's missing a significant portion of customers who actually churn. False negatives. What steps would you take to improve the model's ability to identify these churning customers?
Okay, so it has a large number of false negatives. So
Yes, it's missing a significant portion of customers who actually churn. I haven't heard from you in a moment. Are you still available to continue?
yeah, like the false negatives, It's happening due to I'm not able to think.
Okay, so what steps would you take to address that?
Okay, so there's a lot of false negatives. So I would try the model that the model should be a little more strict when describing it as negative. But I'm not able to recall what exact steps to be taken.
Okay, let's move on to the next phase. I'm gonna switch gears a bit and put on a different hat. Now acting as Harsh, a dissatisfied internal stakeholder. Hi, I'm Harsh. I'm head of the trust and safety team. We're using your model to detect harmful content, but I'm seeing a lot of false positives. Legitimate user posts are being flagged as harmful, and it's creating a lot of extra work for my team to manually review them. Frankly, it's making us look bad. What can you do about this?
Okay, okay. So this is the case of like false positive. Like a model is flagging something harmful, even though it is not. So I would try that the model is like more accurate, and I need to maybe it has not seen enough examples in your training of say of non-harmful contents. I will try that the model is more sensitive when it has it will already flag now if it's very confident if that it's harmful.
Okay, but my team is drowning in these false positives right now. We need a solution, and we needed it yesterday. What's the quickest way to reduce the number of legitimate posts being flagged as harmful?
I guess one quick can be I can just we can have another model say a normal model which will be just all that it was said is that's harmful. I can pass it to a second model and evaluate if it's harmful or not. That can be the quickest. One model is already ready. I can use that ready-made model.
Okay, so you're suggesting adding another layer of filtering. That might work in the long run, but it will take time to implement and test. What can we do immediately to reduce the false positive rate, even if it means we might miss a few more actual harmful posts?
No idea.
All right, I'm going to switch back to interviewer mode now. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's move on to some behavioral questions. Can you tell me about a time when you had to work with a team to solve a challenging technical problem? What was your role, and what was the outcome?
Uh, I guess it was during one of our hackathon, which was organized by Coinbase, and there we were developing a smart payment system, mainly something similar, like identical to UPI, but using Web3. And there were a lot of problems, like we were not familiar with Coinbase SDK, and also we were trying to create something that is smart, not an AI bot, but an AI agent. Both of us were not very well known to like the lang graph etc at that point of time. We just thought it's like the chatbot is all that AI has, though later reading documents, searching here and there, asking AI models that what should I approach, I want something smart, not bot. And even AI was not very good at that point of time. It was just saying use bot, use if else condition, if bot returns this then you can simply have a else. But we were like sure that this would not be the ideal way. There has to have some other way. So eventually we came in contact on searching on web that there's something called lang graph, which is highly used in creating AI agentic solutions. So thereafter we like implemented a land graph to whatever extent we could, like a simple land graph that would simply take a user's question and then pass it to a model, and then whatever the model answer, based on that it goes to the stage whether to like ask for payments or whatever way to go ahead. I was having the role of like I was handling the AI part actually, so the land graph etc came into my domain.
Thanks. Can you describe a time when you had to make a decision under pressure with limited information? What was the situation? What factors did you consider, and what was the result?
I guess one of the time I could recall was actually not very good ending. I was qualified for two hackathons, mainly one like Algorand, which was in Bangalore, Algorand Summit 25, and it was going to be a grand one. I prepared really well for that hackathon project, and it was like I qualified all the rounds except for last round, which they say is use case round. Basically, we have to create a use case PPT. All it's not technical; it's just simply just how we present the solution. Then and at the same time like my team has also qualified for the finals at SIH. Though at SIH I have not contributed that much, I would say. So I was somewhat more like inclined toward the Bangalore one, and like it happened that 6th 7th 8th was the Bangalore one, and 9th 10th was the SIH finals. So I was just discussing with my team that I may have to like I would arrive at the SIH location. The location was very different, like one was in north and one was in south. So I need to come at like 9th at the hackathon. When the hackathon would start, I would arrive at the SIH finals. But I guess my team didn't like that, and like I told them that I need some time, like the final use case round has would be released soon, but they were like no, you have to tell us now. And like Bangalore project was really close to me and I really worked on that. So it was not complete till I would say that point of time, but it was like the way I was thinking, what I wanted to do was somewhat personal to me. And the SIH one was I had a small role over there, so I told them that if I qualify for the Algorand one, I would leave the SIH one. I guess they didn't like this point, and anyone would do that. Anyone would not like that, to be honest. I should have framed it other way, I guess now. And they eventually found another member, though the result came at the same day. I just told them to wait for more day, but I don't know what like stuck between us. And finally, they went for SIH, and I didn't qualify for the finals of Valorant. So I was like having two options at one point of time, and then no option.
That sounds like a tough situation. Thanks for sharing. That concludes the interview. Please click the end interview button to finish. We appreciate your time and wish you all the best.
Would you mind like some question I was not able to answer? Would you mind answering that for me so that I can have a good revision?
That concludes the interview. Please click the end interview button to finish. We appreciate your time and
Hi.
wish you all the best.
Can you answer some questions I wasn't able to answer?
I am sorry, but I am not supposed to provide any answers, hints, opinions, or validation.
Like how was my interview? You can't even answer that, no?
That concludes the interview. Please click the end interview button to finish. We appreciate your time and wish you all the best.
Bird. Okay, very good.